What are some general like tips and tricks, through your time of IUIs that you could share with our listeners who are thinking of going this route?
Well, like one would be don't be afraid to ask questions. I know my clinic my doctor always said, if you ever have a question, call and one of my nurses can answer it. Or if they can't, they'll get a hold of me.
Awesome.
Because it is very scheduled. You're living by your cycle day and what needs to be done on which day. And if it's off, it could affect the whole process. So just not being afraid to ask the questions or ask them to repeat it. Like the nurse would tell me what the plan would be, and I'd say, okay, I just want to read this back to you so that I make sure I have it correct.
Yeah.
That was something that was really important for me. I'm a very type A planner, so it was good to have a plan and I need to make sure I understand it. Another one would be if it doesn't feel right or something like you need to take a break.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to do that, because after my third IUI, I finally said, I can't live by the calendar. Like it was the end of summer. I said, I need to take a break because I need to be able to spend my month doing other things and not worrying about when I have to rush to the clinic.
Yeah. And you're
That was
going back to school and adding
Yes.
that back in and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And just knowing like what you need at the time is super important.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to do a little extra research. I know I didn't really at first. I just kind of went with what the doctor said, which wasn't wrong,
Yeah.
but I look at it now and wish I would have paid more attention to the natural stuff before we started that and done it in conjunction with the process to better prepare myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it sounds to me like you have a very supportive clinic and RE, which is amazing. And that's not everyone's experience, unfortunately, even though it should be. I love that he encouraged you to get in touch and ask questions. And for any of you listening, if that hasn't been put on the table for you, like don't feel like you can't. You get clarification. And the good thing I find with the clinics is the nurses know their stuff because they
Yes,
are
they
the
do.
ones fielding the questions, right? So even if you can't talk directly to your doctor, which is very, very rare in the fertility clinic space, the nurses are often like a better resource for a lot of these questions, especially when it's in relation to timing and medication and side effects and things you might be having. So definitely, like we say in FCM all the time, like there's no stupid question. Like if you have a question, it's valid because your brain has it. So let's answer it. And that way you can free up some of those like brain calories to think and worry about something else, right?
Like they always said, don't turn to Google, call us. Please do not turn to Google, just call us.
Yeah, nothing good ever comes from like Google sessions. And they don't want you coming and saying, so I read this on Google.
Yes.
What do you think? Because they probably just get that all the time, right? Amazing. Okay, Caitlin, what's next for you guys?
Well, so I probably have a month or two left with FCM that with my 6 months, and I've been really focusing on the natural. I am thinking of possibly doing an IUI. We're actually going on vacation in February, so I'm not doing it then because we'll be gone for 10 days.
Nice.
So we've thought about doing one in March and seeing how it goes, hopefully it'll be successful, but then I think we'll maybe have the discussion with my doctor of how many more IUIs do we do?
Yeah.
Because they always told me we'll do 3, and if it's not successful, we'll look at the next step, because if it's not working in 3, there's something more.
Yeah.
But since I've been pregnant twice, it reset. I got pregnant with the IUI, so it reset. So I've done 1 since then. So I think we'll go back with that and then possibly talk about IVF and what's next.